All right, Jerry Brown showed up for the funeral today. The service for Sergeant Steve Owen of the L.A. County Sheriff's Department, who was murdered a week ago yesterday by a guy with a long criminal record who, and it's going to take some time to piece together, but certainly probably benefited from things like prisoner realignment, AB 109. He may have also benefited from Prop 47 because he had drug problems too. But anyway, since the attitude is don't send him back to prison, there's a lot of guys like these out there, like Trenton Lavelle. And that's why the only thing we can do right now is get you to vote no on Prop 57, because that's just going to add to the problem. This is totally Jerry Brown's. He's the one that got this on the ballot. He thinks he's going to undo his own mistakes from the 70s.
And he is promoting this heavily. If I remember correctly, his mistakes from the 1970s caused all kinds of, was about leniency in prison sentencing. It was out of his era that came sentences for a guy like Richard Allen Davis, who killed Polly Klaas back in 1993, which led to the Three Strikes movement. That all came out of the Jerry Brown era, the idea that you would get 50% off on your sentence for violent crimes. So I don't know what the hell he's talking about. He systematically is dumping every level, state prison, local jails, from the probation list, the parole lists, thousands, literally thousands of criminals into the streets. And now we see cops getting killed. That's his responsibility. The blood's on him.
Prop 57.
And enough has got to be enough at some point. But, again, what are we dealing with here? We're dealing with every media outlet slobbering over him, not reporting this truth, these facts, and instead cheerleading for his nonsense. And now that it's been documented what's going on in the presidential campaign, that's exactly what's going on in this state as well. You're being snowed. You're being snowed with propaganda.
Prop 57 is titled Criminal Sentences, Parole, Juvenile Criminal Proceedings and Sentencing, Initiative, Constitutional Amendment, and Statute. And basically it says it allows parole considerations for persons convicted of nonviolent felonies, we'll get to that in a moment, upon completion of prison term for their primary offense as defined. It authorizes Department of Corrections and Rehab to award sentence credits for rehab, good behavior, educational achievements. Oh, don't we love that good time?
It's all gobbledygook. It means they get out early. Right. It's about early parole and early release. And they're going to gin up all kinds of excuses and reasons for it. But it's about getting them out early.
Here is Jerry Brown jabbering to the Sacramento Bee editorial board about Prop 57.
Some of the people try to spook people by saying, oh, my God, do you know what this crime is? And they're eligible for parole. Well, eligible is the key word here. And if you're going to have an indeterminate sentence or a bit of an indeterminate sentence, you have to have discretion and you have to have judgment. So that means you can say yes or you can say no. And the propaganda of the no side is you'll only say yes, you'll never say no.
Stop. Quiet. Take your pill. He's talking about propaganda. That's rich. He's talking about the judgment of the people who hand out parole.
Yeah, that's
the parole board just a few weeks ago was going to let out one of the Manson women early because she had hit retirement age. Seriously. Prisoners have a retirement age where they get too old and they get released from prison. And so it was Leslie Van Houten, right?
Yes.
She was up for release, and the parole board said yes because she was 66. She was at retirement age for prisoners. Jerry Brown reversed it. He must have been on his medication that day. But the idea that we're going to trust the judge when they're releasing Manson killers, and by the way, she stabbed one of the victims 15 times. She wasn't just an accessory waiting in the car. She was there with a big knife, and she stabbed, I think it was the LoBianco killings.
Yes, it was.
Stabbed the woman, the wife, 15. Can you imagine a young woman who was in her early 20s taking a knife, plunging it into a person's body 15 times? And then the parole board thinks 40 some odd years later, well, she's not that much of a threat anymore. I mean, you cannot trust the judgment of a parole board in California. You have to make these sentences ironclad, no breaks. These are viciously, viciously bad people.
We've said it before. I'll say it again. When you end up in state prison, and that's what we're talking about here, you are a bad person. It takes a lot. Think about this, and we've run into this already in the last couple of weeks with these police shootings. How many of these crimes, nasty crimes, like attempted murder, and I guess it was an armed burglary or an armed robbery that the guy that killed the Lancaster sergeant committed, that Trenton Lavelle, did they get pled down? They often get pled down. So what we actually see on the books is really just a milder version of what they did.
And see, this is the thing. This is the way it's misreported in the media. You'll be told, well, really has nothing to do with Jerry Brown policies because his last conviction was a non-violent felony. Therefore, he was eligible. But it really wasn't that bad a guy. Whoa, time out. When we come back, we're going to give you a list of what Jerry Brown considers to be nonviolent felonies. Second part of this is there's an enormous amount of pressure on assistant district attorneys, on prosecutors and judges to reduce the charge, to plea it down for a lighter sentence. There's a lot of pressure. I don't know why the prosecutors fold under the pressure. If I was a prosecutor, I'd be giving Jerry Brown the middle finger. He calls up prosecutors. He called up the district attorney in San Bernardino County, Mike Ramos, telling Ramos he was sending too many convicts to state prison.
Too many prisoners to state prison. Slow down.
So this is the pressure that goes on. So you can't go by what's on the record because the record doesn't reflect reality. Once things are pled down, once violent felonies are massaged into nonviolent felonies or misdemeanors, you can't see straight anymore. You don't know what the hell the guy is about.
Right,
but I'm telling you, these cop killers have gotten tremendous benefits from Jerry Brown letting violent felons out into the street. When we come back, we're going to read you a list of crimes that are not considered violent felonies. Therefore, the perpetrators of these crimes would be eligible for early release under Prop 57. We're going to prove to you that Jerry Brown is peddling a huge lie, and all his accomplices and all the newspapers in California go along with it because they have the same ideological sickness that prisoners should not be in prison. They should be out on the streets to kill cops and kill you. That's coming up next. John and Ken, KFI, and Heather Jordan is news. All right, John and Ken Show. John Cobell and Ken Chiappo. KFI AM 640.
All right, let's get into this now. Prop 57 is Jerry Brown's latest attempt to put more guys on the street that could kill you. I mean, not kidding. Prisoner realignment, Prop 47, we've been over them over the years. One was the result of the legislature, but Prop 47 was passed by somebody out there. Yeah. Well, Prop 57 is the latest attempt. We are demanding a vote no.
Everyone.
Prop 57. By the way, the voter guide is there for you on the website.
Everyone in law enforcement is against Prop 57. Everyone. The district attorneys, the sheriff's deputies, the police, the prosecutors, crime victims, and all community leaders. They're all against Prop 57 because, and we're going to get into the specifics, prisoners who have committed rape, who have committed lewd acts against a child, who've committed gang gun crimes and human trafficking crimes will be released early under Prop 57. Here is a list of crimes that Jerry Brown does not consider violent felonies. They're considered non-violent. Rape by intoxication. Rape of an unconscious person.
And we talked about this with the Sacramento County DA a few weeks ago because the Stanford case comes to mind immediately in Brock Turner. That's what was going on there.
So you could rape a girl, getting her intoxicated. You can rape her while she's unconscious. Jerry Brown says, let the rapist go free early It's not violent. Jerry Brown says human trafficking involving a sex act with a minor is not violent.
Drive-by shooting, assault with a deadly weapon, hostage-taking, attempting to explode a bomb at a hospital or a school.
Can you
These
get
are very
this?
specific. We're getting this, by the way, from the arguments against Prop 57, which were put together by law enforcement officials, including the president of several police associations. So we're not making this stuff up.
Yes.
They did the research.
The San Francisco Police Officers Association president, the president of the Association of Los Angeles Deputy Sheriffs, and they just lost, Sergeant Steve Owen, up in Lancaster, the president of the California District Attorneys Association. They are telling you the truth here. Imagine a guy tries to explode a bomb at your children's school. Jerry Brown says that act is nonviolent. Let him out early.
Yeah, I guess because it didn't go off, attempting to explode.
Assault with a deadly weapon? In other words, you whack somebody over the head with a hammer? With a baseball bat?
Arson, discharging a firearm on school grounds, lewd acts against a child 14 or 15, false imprisonment of an elder through violence. And they say here it's just a partial list.
Now,
And it goes on to say Prop 57 authorizes state government bureaucrats to reduce many sentences for good behavior, even for inmates convicted of murder, rape, child molestation, and human trafficking.
Now, arson. So a guy sets a wildfire and burns down 1,000 homes? That's not violent. Jerry Brown says let him go free. He is insane. The thing is, he really, truly is insane. Been telling you that for years. But it is totally, totally covered up by every single media outlet that his policies are dangerous, extremely damaging. No wonder you have cops getting shot all over the place.
I mean, listen to this argument. Thousands of dangerous criminals have already been released early. We know that from prisoner realignment and some of these other moves. We're paying the price. The violent crime rate was up 10% last year, rape up 37%. Prop 57 would authorize the immediate release of thousands of dangerous criminals. Those previously convicted of things like murder, rape, and child molestation would be eligible for early parole. And you heard Jerry Brown in that little tape we played say, well, they can say no. Do you want to count on that?
I don't understand. How? And this, did anyone at the Sacramento Bee editorial board, did they say, Governor, you have a guy who explodes a bomb or tries to explode a bomb at a school and you want to let him go? You want to have a guy who's raping an unconscious girl at a frat party? What if it's like 20 guys enjoying a gangbang on the unconscious girl? They all get out early? We're not making this up. We're reading from the proposition arguments that were approved by Kamala Harris.
All right. You can check that out along with our voter guide on the website. It's a no. Say it again, John.
No on 57. No.
No. It's at KFIAM640.com. Keyword Sean and Ken. It's there for you. A lot of people getting their ballots.